Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another exciting episode of All About You. In today's segment, I will be going over the deck I would have taken to Orlando. Sadly, many of you know I had intentions of going, but I kind of fucked myself over. Excuse my French. I ended up booking a flight where I thought I was going to be picked up from JFK or from LaGuardia going to Orlando, but instead it ended up turning out to be Newark. Through a process of me having to call the third-party company and talk with them so I can actually schedule my trip. And they ended up scheduling me all right, and they charged me for it, but it wasn't quite the right spot where I wanted to be picked up on. And because of that, it would have cost me more money to go and more money to come back home, and the trip overall wouldn't have been worth it. As it was, the trip was going to be more of a break even as long as I came in the top 3 placements, since each person that comes in the top 3 receives $150 from my understanding. Plus, I know there was like a, overall prize split that occurred at the tournament, which I would have been probably even more minus. I would have probably been the odd one out, so to speak, where I would have been like, nope, we got to play for it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be back doing some more videos. This is going to be a Dragon Ball Super video, as you guys may already know. I will be releasing a few more other videos this week, actually one right after this one, which will be more of a relationship topic video. So I hope you guys appreciate that one. It's going to be about 20 minutes long. So that one's going to be going over some subjects that I know we all been through. And if you haven't been through it, at least you can learn from us so that you can be able to have an advantage or at least have an understanding when you do come across those type of situations in any relationship for that matter. But guys and girls, thank you for watching, and let's begin. All right, guys, so we've been playing this bad boy, Dragon Ball Leader, aka Miraculous Revival Shenron. I've been using him for about 4 to 5 months now, and he's just been overall great. Great leader, great card overall, and he has just a lot of powerful synergy with this type of build that I have currently. So you guys already should know, standard leader effect. I'm not going to really go into it because pretty much everyone playing this game should know this guy by now. So to start off, we ran one-star ball. This guy allows us to pitch a card, draw a card, and essentially cycle out through cards that we no longer need in our hand and that we want to set up for grave. Our opponent also has to drop one. So it's draw one card, then drop one, then your opponent drops one. Remember, you have to drop the card first, so your opponent at least has access to knowledge before they have to discard a card. We have Super Dragon Ball. I have a few friends that troll me, especially Sam, you know who you are. Super Dragon Ball costs 2 energy, you draw 4 cards, and you pitch 2. This card is a +2 off rip. It's very strong. However, the weakness of the card is that it costs 2. Against aggro matchups, it's not favorable to be able to use this bad boy. So you have to know when to sequence these 2 cards. There are times where I'll use Super Dragon Ball to pitch the 1-star, and there are times where I'll use the 1-star to pitch Super Dragon Ball. Now, if you want more information, you can always join my Patreon where I can teach you how to play the deck properly. Now, we have 5 Porunga Dragon Ball. This is one of my favorite cards, and it's very effective. So it's just, the art is great. It's your standard draw 1 card. So it's a free draw, great to cycle through your cards, and it's why we run it in the deck. And it's a must since it's a Dragon Ball leader. So we'll just pile these guys up so we don't waste space. We run 4 World Peace. We'll just do it in this fashion. So World Peace is just phenomenal because it is our win con, essentially. This is the heart of the deck. So for our desire cards, this is what we will be picking up when we awaken from this side to this side. And the great part about it is we have 1-star and Super Dragon Ball that can take care of it. We can get it into the drop area so that we could go plus. Whole point of this deck is to go plus and play effectively against your opponent so you can have the advantage. So when you have 4 more energy, essentially this card becomes when you activate it, you can select 1 battle card from your drop area with equal to or less from your energy area and put it into play. So if I have 5 energy, I can put in play a 5-drop from my drop area or less. That's all it really needs. All you need to know. I run 4 power bursts. Now, this is obviously a major change. In previous builds, I wasn't playing this. I was playing Whi's Coercion. So the reason why we have power bursts in this deck is because it's just more effective. It gets the job done. You need to protect your life, and most of the time you're protecting yourself from double strike, triple strikes, quad strike, whatever it is, you know. It's all about being able to save as much life as you can and stay in the game as long as you can, essentially. So this bad boy is a Sparking Negate. When you have 5 cards in your drop area, you can use it for free by taking a life. And the great part about it is it allows you to bring back a 1-drop from your discard or warp area into your hand. So that's very useful, especially if you do use any form of Overwhelm, which in my Patreon video, you'll be able to see my sideboard, and you'll see why we have this even more effective. I mainboard 2, Kami, Global Unifier, just a very strong card. Very powerful, allows us to pretty much be very destructive on the board, and it removes threats. Essentially, it's a 1-drop that allows us to KO the board if our opponent goes too wide, for the cost of technically 3 energy in 1 shot or 2 energy. Dende. We run this little bad boy for the mirror match or any deck that wants to focus on ramping. So it's just very good. It's a standard draw card in most matchups because Shenron is a good deck, but it's a deck that requires skill, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not, as you can see in the Orlando event, 1 I think made it. Like, that's kind of like not good at all, but it is what it is. You know, it's not an easy deck to play and just top with it. You have to have some knowledge of it or just be a good player overall. And again, this guy, for the mirror match, you can pop one of your opponent's energy if they ramped at all. For our super combos, we run 4 Temporal Rescue Trunks. So very important because it is our way to defend ourselves early, and all required is Sparking 5, which as early as turn 1 you can meet the requirement to get that nice 10k in draw. We run 2 Newfound Purunga, one of my favorite cards. It allows us to deal with decks that want to go wide, decks that want to build up a board. Similar to Kami, we have another way. So it's just an option to be able to wipe out our opponent's board and let them keep one of their guys. It's another way to draw cards. You could just tap them, draw 2, or you can tap them and give one of your battle cards plus 10k for both players' turn, your turn and their turn, which is very good when you're going for the kill turn. Then we have our brother, our Shenron Figure of Majesty. Pretty much very similar, except you don't have to tap him. He has a draw, so you automatically draw for every effect that you use. That draw does not happen right away. You have to select the effect you want to use first, so remember that. So you can either restand 2 energy, you can give one of your battle cards 5k in critical, or you can bring back a 2-drop or less from your drop area and put it into play, which are these guys. Or sometimes our super combo, believe it or not. Now, for our, I guess, blue package, we went through all the black cards. We are playing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're playing 4 beans. We'll leave it like this. The 4 beans are just quite there for defense and extension of plays. So there are multiple things you can do. Again, in the Patreon, I do teach on how to use it effectively outside of just defending yourself. Then we have one of the key cards of the deck for Objection. Guys and girls, Objection, I know I made videos before where I would say if you're running Objection, you're bad. But in this case, you probably would be bad if you're not playing Objection. It's a key card. It allows you to ramp ahead of your opponent. And because this leader draws so many cards, overall, you will have a hand. There's very few games that you won't have a hand, and that's if the game goes really bad or you're forced to awaken extremely early. Typically, you want to be able to go into this side by turn 3. You want to take your time going there because you want to be able to plus off the Dragon Balls, draw a series of cards, and utilize a lot of effects while getting to that journey. The next card I'm going to show is another ramp card. We run 3 Whis. Whis the Resting Attendant. Very important because it's going with the theme of being able to ramp. This is a ramp deck, guys. It's not necessarily a Shenjita deck. Normally, if it was just a Senjita deck, you would just objection. So from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 4, and then next turn you would be set. But because this is a play big things deck, you want to just be very careful with that. I play 4 of our At All Costs Vegeta. You guys already know this bad boy. He has several abilities. One of the most powerful cards in the game. Essentially, you draw when you play him, you draw a card, you restand an energy. You can use active main, take 2 life, add it to your hand. He gets plus 3k for every energy you control. If you have 5 or greater energy, you can pop a battle card and he gains triple strike. I mean, for a 4-drop right now, I just told you an abundance of effects. That's something that you want to make sure that you utilize. And he's just amazing. And if you world peace him and bring him out for free, you can pretty much restand a free card and break even in hand, which is very good. I run 3 of our Ultimate Fusion Gogeta. He's very strong, very key to the deck. Great for removing our opponent's battle cards. As you can see, this deck has multiple ways to remove our opponent's battle cards, which is why this deck is very strong and would have definitely have won the Orlando Regional if I would have not messed up. But, you know, that's just my take. You don't have to believe me. But if you play it right, you definitely have a high chance of doing very well with this type of deck. So when he comes into play, you draw 2 cards. You draw 2 first, ladies and gentlemen. So take advantage of the draw 2 so you can decide what you want to bottom deck. Sometimes, depending on what you draw, that may influence your decision on what you want to bottom deck. And he has 25k in double strike, which is very good. Now, for some of the boss monsters, we run 2 Gogeta Hero Revived. Very important. It allows us to reset our opponent's hand at barely any cost, sparking 10 and at a crit of 1 life. That's nothing, guys and girls. You know, that's chump change for what this card can do. He has Deflect, Barrier, very hard to get around. Very few cards can touch him. So that's all you need to know. And he has triple strike, and he's 30k off rip, which is very strong. Then we have our Kaioken. Our Kaioken Son Goku. He is one of the battle cards that pretty much puts our opponent in a very bad spot and has an advantage of winning. Essentially, it's a battle card that does put a lot of pressure on our opponent. And essentially, once you hit that 1 life margin, his auto will kick in. Remember, if you play him and you already have 1 life, that won't happen. You have to get to 1 life while he's in play through any means. You could use At All Costs Vegeta, take 2 life, and trigger his auto, you know? As long as you get to that 1 life, he ends up getting dual attack and triple strike. And by the way, he's a 25k beat stick, and his own ability gives him 25k every time you use it to drop a card from your opponent's hand at the cost of a life. And last but not least, Victory Strike no Deska. Very good card, one of my favorite cards. I've won already 2 tournaments with them. This could have been a 3rd, but it's whatever. You know, Victory Strike is Victory Strike. When you land it, you win the game. I was playing Goku Oob in the last tournament you guys saw me feature in, and it's because I wanted to kind of use a different approach. This is the better version of the deck. Pretty much close to perfection at this current point. But as we all know, the format's going to change, so I'm going to be running even newer spice. So this deck, have fun while you can. You could use it now. I won't suggest using it quite yet for Nats or anything because it's going to be different, but it's a very, very strong deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'm going to have a lot more content. And as always, this channel is all about you.